Deirdre Bosa and Danny Fortson, Sunday Times West Coast correspondent and host of the podcast Danny in the Valley. Deirdre Bosa, first to you. What are you hearing? What are you expecting? Is job one from the Biden administration with regards to big tech?
The short answer, TBD, right? But how I would describe the relationship perhaps is Biden's relationship with big tech is cozy, but far from comfortable. Biden is reportedly looking at a number of candidates who have actually worked with big tech, have experience, whether as consultants or lobbyists, to go into the administration or at agencies. For example, looking at a woman reportedly who consulted on Amazon's Whole Foods deal, more than $13 billion acquisition, to potentially lead the antitrust unit at the DOJ. So that raises some questions. However, the momentum that has been achieved over the last few years in terms of cracking down on big tech and, alleged anti-monopoly power, it has taken off. And I think that no matter how many people he has that have relationships with big tech, you cannot stop the momentum. And Brian, you showed some of the performances of big tech over the last few weeks and months, and they have been underperforming. So regulation, it may not be this sort of bang, break up the big tech companies, but it could be slow moving like it has been in Europe. That doesn't mean that it's not coming.
Yeah, Danny, listen, the European regulations, they are a lot tougher. I've actually read something like Google has paid $10 billion in fines in the U.S. and EU over the last number of years. $10 billion. I mean, these are big numbers. Do you think that kind of hammer is coming? Or do you believe that a lot of big donors to the Democratic Party come from California and that they're ultimately going to kind of leave them alone?
No, I don't think they're going to leave them alone. I think job one, if there is to, as Deirdre just pointed out, there's so many ways that Washington is looking at reining in big tech. But I think job one is very clearly going to be Section 230, which I know many of your viewers probably know what that is. But for those who don't, it's this immunity shield they've enjoyed for 25 years. And if you cast your mind back, quarter century ago, 10% of Americans even had an internet connection. The world has changed dramatically. And if you just look at this from a product liability point of view, if you go to McDonald's and have a bad burger, you can sue them. If you have a pharmaceutical company making poisonous medicine,
Danny, let me jump in. I'm gonna jump in because I want to jump in because it's a very important point, but I want to hone it down a bit. Section 230, and I'm going to very generalize it, effectively makes technology companies either publishers and are responsible for what goes on their platforms or not. You're in the media, I'm in the media. We are responsible for what goes into the newspaper and on our air. Do you believe, and maybe you'll dodge this one, that Facebook is a publisher?
Yes, absolutely. And I think that's what, if you look at what's happened in the last session of Congress, more than 20 bills were proposed to overhaul Section 230, which is all about bringing in some accountability for what appears on their pages. And of course, none of those passed because the Democrats and Republicans are coming from the opposite ends of the spectrum. But now we have a Democratic-controlled Congress, of course, Biden coming to the White House. Section 230 overhaul is coming. There is going to be some new accountability regime. What that looks like will be the subject of furious lobbying going right now on in Washington.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.